Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new, my name is Jojo Palacio, and on this channel, we talk about all things beauty. Today we are filming a video full of new products, newer products that are new to me, or products that I haven't used in a while that kind of become new. Does anybody else feel that way? Like you were using something for such a long time and then you stopped because something else came out that you liked better, and you see it in your vanity and you're like, huh, I haven't used that in a while, and you use it again and it's like a brand new amazing product that you knew was amazing because you obviously liked it in the first place. Anybody else comment down below with like a little hand emoji saying yes, I feel that. So today's video actually was very pleasantly surprised. I am truly and honestly obsessed with the color purple. It is my favorite color. Those of you I did not know, I don't think I've shared that before, but the color purple is my absolute favorite color. I also love that book. Did anybody else have to read that book in high school? Am I the only one? Am I showing you my age? Has anybody heard of it? Anyways, so I'm absolutely obsessed with the way this look came out. It is a ton of first impressions, a ton of new products. I just felt like doing something refreshing and new for the new year, and I am so glad that this turned out really well. I've been constantly just trying to think of new things to come up for you guys, or things to inspire or motivate me. Working on my content and the quality of my content, and I just kind of want to share this with you guys. I feel like the motivational moments at the beginning of the video are being appreciated, so I'll continue to do it. I have been playing with lighting for a while in my background, just lighting in front of me, behind me. I've been doing a lot of research on the lighting subject, and what I've come to find out is that I was so focused on what was in front of me. I was so focused on the lighting that just spotlighted me or highlighted me that I completely disregarded or didn't even think about lighting behind me, lighting above me or next to me. And I was just so frustrated with the fact that my lighting was not coming out the way that I wanted to. And it wasn't until recently that I looked into a video from a professional lighting technician or lighting specialist. I don't want to offend anyone, I just don't know what the name is. And so they were saying that the lighting has to be at different levels and coming from different dimensions and from different angles. And so I kind of just took that as I just heard it as, you know, Jovi, you're so focused sometimes on what's going on in front of you and just about you and the lighting that's focused on you, that you forget to look around you and focus on your surroundings as well. Whether that may be coworkers or my husband or my friends or my relationships with family. I just get so focused on what's going on in my own life, especially now in the new year that we have so many goals, that we forget to think of others and we forget to be Christ to others. So I just want to remind you how I got that from a light. I don't know. Jesus is the light of the world. He's a light in your life. I just felt that God was speaking to me in a sense that in this new year, while you are planning New Year resolutions, do not forget to show love and inspiration to others, to those around you, especially our loved ones and our dear ones. I think we get so frustrated when our goals don't work out that we take it out on those around us and we forget that we also should be inspiring those around us. It's not just us who need to be inspired. So I leave you with that. I'm excited for you guys to see this look. It is stunning, 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 stunning. That being said, comment on the lighting if you guys like it or not. I have a light focus on the background now to just kind of bring that forward a little bit. So I don't know if you guys care about that in my content or not, but I love to just continue to improve and grow, and the quality of my videos to grow as well. So I appreciate your feedback. That was the longest intro ever, and I am so sorry, but let's get to this first impressions video. Okay, let's get started on this look. I'm so excited for the purple goodness that is going on. So for eye prep, we are using this guy right here. This is a P. Louise eye base. I love this to help us get a nice neutralized lid. I get asked all the time by clients why we use eye bases. Do they really make a difference? Can you use concealer? Yes, you can, but a lot of the times these eye bases have extra pigment built into them to help really neutralize out your lid. So yes, you can absolutely use concealer. Just remember that the concealer is not really gonna have the extra like white opaqueness that I really like to see in my eye base personally, but you can use what you have. So what I will do is work it in with my finger first just to warm the product up and make it dispersed evenly throughout the eyelid, and then I will buff out and blend it out with a smudging brush. This one is by BH Cosmetics. So once we have that on, I like to set the eye base just because it makes it easier for me to blend things out. To do that, today we are using a new powder product that I'm so excited to try. I love to use powders on my eyes. I want to try it on the face. So we're using the One Size Ultimate Setting Powder. I'm just going to grab a little bit of this guy on a nice fluffy eyeshadow brush, and we are going to just pat that all over the eye base to give me a smooth surface. Powder blends best on powder. So once your eyes are set and prepped, we are going to use this guy right here. This is the Huda Beauty Amethyst palette. This is the newest palette that I had in my vanity, so I figured since we're doing a new product makeup tutorial, I would pull this guy out. So we're gonna start by using the darkest color in the palette first. I like to do that when I'm doing fully glam looks. I like to start off by building up the pigmentation in the darkest color and then blending out with the blending shades. So I'm picking that color up in the Morphe X Jaclyn Hill JH33. You can see that on the brush, there's quite a bit of product, as well as the brush is nice and fluffy, but it is also dense. Like, this is a typical blending brush versus what I'm using the purple on. So just keep that in mind when you're picking out brushes. It's really important to use the right tools. That way your job is a little easier. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to stamp my eye open when I am putting this purple on. I like to make sure that the eyelid is open so that I can see where the shape is going and where I'm going to work this in. And then from there, you can just kind of trace out your crease area. And I just follow that all the way into the inner corner. Don't worry about going super high with this shadow just because you are gonna use a blending shade to go even higher. Okay, so once you've built up quite a good shape and you've got nice pigmentation, we're gonna move on to the transition shade, which is this guy right here, right below that first dark shade, and we're gonna switch the brushes. So the brush is now gonna get longer and it's gonna get slicker, or like just pointed more at the top. So we're gonna pick this up. This is the Makeup Shack T46. I love both of these brands. So I'll use BH Cosmetics, Morphe, and the Makeup Shack in all of my brushes, you'll notice. Good quality brands, and they're a good price too, so look them up. Like with any other color, you wanna build up the shadow on the brush first, and then with very light pressure, we're gonna start to blend out the edges of that deep purple. Holding the brush almost towards the end of the brush itself, towards the end of the handle. Very light pressures, and you wanna use your wrist when you're blending out eyeshadows. You don't wanna put too much pressure down on your eyelid because it's just gonna give you choppy, very imprecise, rough looking lines. Once you start to see things blend out, go back into the dark color, build it up a little bit, blend back out with the other brush. We're gonna work on that for a few minutes. So before we start carving into the eyelid, which is our next step, do you guys see this part that's right here? I don't like too much of a shadow. I want just a little bit of a shadow. So what I'm gonna do is go into this LA Girl Pro Conceal HC Concealer, and I'm just gonna put a little mark there, and I'm gonna go in with our buffing brush that we started off with. And so what I like to do is just buff away that shadow so it doesn't look so intense. I don't really want a, what do you call that? A super hollowed out, shoot, I can't think of it, but I don't want like couture type of eye look. I'm trying to go for a cut crease, but I do want it to be wearable. If I wanted something that was a little more edgy, a little more tutorial, or shoot, I had it. I can't think of the word. Editorial. A little more editorial, then I would absolutely have left that there, but I want something that's a little softer, a little more wearable for the day. And it's little things like that, little details like that when you're doing your makeup, like cleaning that up, that will really make your eye look completely different. Awesome, so now we are at the point where we can cut the crease. And to cut the crease, I'm gonna go back into my eye base, as well as use a nice big flat brush. This one is by the Makeup Shack. It is their T79. I absolutely love this for cutting the crease. It's a big area that you're trying to access, and I'm all about being efficient, working smarter, not harder. And a brush like this really helps me cut it up in a decent amount of time and just with accuracy, because it takes you less strokes because of how big the brush is. So what I like to do is start in the inner corner, put a fair amount on there, and I actually have the eye base on the back of my hand, not directly on the eyelid, because I like to control the amount that goes on. And once I've got it up a pretty good distance, I want to just stamp my ground to make sure I know where I'm taking this. All right guys, so we are carved out a good way. This is maybe like 1/4 of the eyelid that I left without the crease. Not quite a full cut crease, but you know, it's almost that. So what I want to do is kind of re-emphasize that darkness again real quick before we move on to the next shade. And what I'll do is I'll go back in and stamp it right along the edges of where we cut, just to create some depth again. And so we're gonna work our way now down, kind of like in a column. So what I did was pick this color first, right here. Then we're gonna go into this one for the center of the eyelid, and then this for the inner corner. So I'm working with very precise brush. This is a defining brush by Lavish. It's their eye shading brush. I love this because it really helped me to stay in a specific area. You have to remember that the more specific you're trying to be, the smaller your brush should be. Ugh, these shadows just transition into each other so beautifully. Look at that. And then this last one swatched completely different on my hand. And I liked it on my hand, but I loved it on the lid. Look at this. Look at that. The way that this one just sits perfectly in the center, just grabbing all kinds of attention, is gorgeous. I love that. Love it. All right, so next we're gonna go on to the liner, but before that, I always keep a nice clean blending brush just to run through the edges of everything. I want it to be color, but I also want it to be super smoky. So I'll just run it against these edges here right below the brow to make sure that everything is just blended and smoked out and perfect. So for liner, we're using a fairly new liner. Again, this is all new makeup products for me. New as in like maybe I've used it once, maybe I haven't used it at all. This I've used once before. This is the Huda Beauty, what is it called? Life liner. So I got it in black, and there's one side that's just a pencil. That's the side that we're gonna use to create the smokiness on the eyelid. And I'm also going in with a new mascara. So today for mascara, we're using the NARS Climax mascara. I tried this months ago, like when it first came out, and it was all right. But I had another one and I said, you know what, let me just use it for this video. I haven't used it in a while. Maybe, you know, maybe something changed in me. Because remember, the change comes from within. And then I'm using my Lily lashes in the style Mykonos. So let me get my eyes finished off with those 3 products, and we'll be back to start on complexion. All right guys, so let's get started on complexion. In today's video, there is a ton of new products. I will go through what they feel like, what they smell like. We'll chit chat a little bit just because it is the new year, and I wanna hear from you guys what your goals, what your plans are. If you're curious on pricing, I did put very specific pricing and size availability in my new Sephora gratis haul for January, which a lot of these products are from. So I will link that above. You guys can click it when you're done with this video and go watch that video. So for complexion, I have 2 new primers that I'm trying out. The first one is this guy, which is the Laura Mercier Pure Canvas Primer. This is a blurring primer, but it's silicone free, which I love. The second one is this Dior Backstage Face and Body Primer. So I used this the other day, yesterday to be exact, and I wasn't disappointed. It really did wear well. I felt like it controlled a lot of my oils well also. So I'm gonna put this one in the center of my face in the hope that it will perform the same way with this foundation. It's just very, very blurring. I can feel it smoothing, absolutely. It is like very creamy, very hydrating feeling almost. I don't think that I smell anything, but this is pretty. It's a pretty decent size as well. And then for the outer perimeter of my face, I'm gonna use a Dior Backstage Primer. The foundation that we're using today, guys, is matte. Like if you are a client of mine that says, Jovi, I've tried everything and I don't know what else to put on my face so my makeup won't slide off, we're reaching for this foundation. I haven't tried it on myself personally, but first time for everything. These first impressions are important. So we're working that in. This is not as glowy as I thought it would be. Look at this. Ugh, I hate getting my period. It's so painful, but we'll take care of that. That one is scented. Dior does have a lot of scented products. It's very light, slight scent. It's not super overwhelming. And then for foundation today, we are using this guy. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Foundation. I picked it in the shade 4 Neutral. Now, before I put this foundation on, I gotta talk to you for a minute, homie, because this foundation oxidizes a lot. Like, if you thought the all-nighter oxidized, this oxidizes maybe 3 shades darker than when you first apply it. So when you see it go on my face, it is gonna look very light, very yellow almost, but just know that I've swatched it and I knew that it was going to oxidize, so I picked it lighter. I have to have this conversation, I feel like, with my clients all the time when I'm swatching this and we're doing a match for their foundation, because it is honestly a good full coverage mattifying foundation, which is good for a specific client. However, I don't want you to be turned off by the fact that it oxidizes. I'm telling you it oxidizes. So what you do to solve that is just go up a few shades. So what I'm gonna do is take 2 pumps. Ooh, let's start with 1, because that was quite a big pump. We're gonna start with 1, and what I like to do is apply it the same way I always do, which with a buffing brush, and we are going to work it into the skin. So this is what it looks like on now. You guys see how yellowy almost that looks? So we're just gonna apply it the same way I apply my foundations. Yeah, 1 pump is more than enough for this foundation. It's nice when foundations have big pumps because you use a lot less to get the finish that you want. You guys saw how yellow it was at the beginning, right? We're just still working it onto our hand and it's disappeared onto my hand. So that's what I mean by picking it out lighter so that when it does start to oxidize, it oxidizes to your right color. The trick to foundations like this is the undertone. You need to know whether you're a neutral, a cool, a warm, olive. You need to know your undertone so that you can pick one in that family. So next we're going to bronze and contour. For contour, I'm using none other than the Fenty Beauty Matchstick in the shade Mocha. This is a fairly new product to me and I'm quite enjoying it. The thing about this product is it's not like my Milk Makeup Flex Foundation Stick that I use to bronze. This is specifically and only for contouring. So you want to keep that in mind because it can get muddy quickly. So for bronzing up, warming up my face a little bit, I haven't used this guy in a while, but I use it all the time. So NARS has a Pure Radiant Tinted Moisturizer, and I use it in the shade Polynesia to give me that summertime glow. That's probably why I haven't used it, because it is a little glowy, luminous, not necessarily glittery. But what I like to do is work it in the back of my hand onto the actual brush so that it's dispersed throughout the brush and I don't have to worry about it being overwhelming. And then I'll go in and I'll work it into my skin to give me that J.Lo summertime glow. All right, guys, so next on the list of new products is this guy right here. So this is newer to me. I think I used it once maybe a while back ago and I haven't used it again. So this is the LA Girl Pro Conceal High Definition Concealer. I got it in the shade Porcelain. I want something that's very brightening. So that's gonna be my highlighting shade. And then for the color correcting shade, we're gonna take this guy right here. So this is the new Hourglass Vanish Concealer. I got it in the shade Apricot, which is my color correcting, or everyday spot concealing type of shade. We actually got a chance to pick another one because we're getting 2, and I got it in a brightening shade, so I can't wait for that. But this guy is very similar to my complexion shade. I'm gonna just put it right in the inner corner to help me color correct. And so what I'm gonna do is take the smaller of the 2 sponges and we are going to work that into the little triangle, as I like to call it, which is this area that's very close to the under eye area. This concealer has such a pretty finish and it also has very good coverage. You see how that automatically corrected that darkness that was pocketing in that inner corner? So pretty. So, so pretty. I'm gonna take a little more right in here and then right in between the brows too. This is so similar to my complexion that I just wanna use it in the areas where I have darkness or redness, just to color correct. So pretty. That formula. So good. All right, but I want a little brightness. I want to just kind of clean up a little bit in the under eye area and just make sure that everything is bright and brought forward. So we're going to take this LA Girl concealer and I'm going to go into the larger triangle, which is a little further out, and I'm actually going to color correct with this too. And the nice thing about this is that it's got a built-in brush, so the product is just coming out as you're working it into the areas. I don't know how this blends. It's been a minute, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna work it in now, one eye at a time. I know that this is a natural finish. It's not necessarily matte, but still, I don't know. Pretty good coverage. It's easy to work with. I'm not upset at the finish at all. I like it. So I'm just gonna go and highlight the top part of my forehead as well. You just want to make sure everything is even when you're working things onto your face. So it should look like there is a light bulb following you around, hitting all high points of your face evenly. So forehead now is starting to look blended. The chin and around the mouth. There's a lot of shadows that happen around the mouth. And for whatever reason, maybe it's the oil buildup, but I feel like when the foundation oxidizes, it really oxidizes around the chin and mouth area. Guys, overall, this was impressive. Go check that out. Again, it's like $4 with tax. So good. So, so good. LA Girl HD Concealer. Like that. Patrick Star One Size setting powder. So hyped about this, and so I just am confused as to how I'm supposed to get it out though. Like how we do that. It honestly is disappearing under the eye area. Like I thought it was gonna be thicker than what it actually is. It's nice. So I'm just putting it onto the lid. I feel like that's the easiest thing that I can do right now. And then we'll just press it into the areas that I need it. I like to work powders into the skin. That's gonna be really important for preventing cakey, dry looking skin, is just to work it into the skin. All right, so while that's working its magic, because it says it's recommended to leave in for 5 minutes, let's finish off our under eye area with this guy. So what I'm gonna do is just do the same thing. We're gonna tightline with the dark color, and then we're gonna blend out with that lighter color. To do that, I like to use a smudging brush. So this guy right here serves that purpose. This is a JH43. It's a stiff smudging brush. And so what I'm gonna do is take it right up against that line and just build up the intensity. You're gonna make it as thick as the rest of the eye, but we're gonna blend it out with the other color. So now that we've got that same color, I just wanna smoke it out so everything looks nice, you know, very professional, very presentable. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a fluffier, small fluffy brush. So this guy right here is gonna help to blend that stuff out, and I'm gonna pick up that crease, lighter purple pink shade. And we're just gonna wiggle it very close to that and connect everything. All right guys, and then for the inner corner, we're just gonna use some more of that beautiful shade there and just blow that up in the inner corner. To set the rest of the complexion and kind of dust off this Patrick Star One Size powder, we're using the Charlotte Tilbury airbrush. It's probably the newest face powder that I have. I know it's not new, but it's newest. Again, this is like a first impressions, trying out new products video, so. Plus I love that powder. Really, that's all that, I just like it. We're gonna use another drugstore product here, this guy. Again, not new to me, but I haven't used it in such a long time, and I loved this when it first came out. This is the Wet n Wild Mega Glow Contouring Palette. It's got 2 shades of banana powder, and then it's got a contouring shade. I'm gonna use the banana powder under my eyes, but I'm gonna start with the contouring shade and a contour brush. And we're just gonna reinforce some of this bronzing contouring that might have gotten washed down a little bit from the powders. So that's looking a little intense as far as a nose contour, but leave it like that just because we're gonna go in with that banana powder. I'm gonna pick that up using a tapered brush by Morphe, and we're just going to pat that up into the areas that are meeting that contour just to make sure that we are bright, but blend it out. So pretty. All right, so let's do some setting spray. And we are trying this new Milk Makeup Set and Refresh Spray today. I am so excited to try this. Okay, so I will say the mister is a little thick. Like them drops are a little thick, but I'm not mad at that. Just hold it up a little further than you would normally hold your setting spray and then spray it on. The smell isn't overwhelming, it's very refreshing, very similar to the Hydro Grip Primer. If you like that smell or you're not bothered by it, then you're not gonna mind this. And this is not meant to have a specific, like it's not mattifying or glowy, it's just really meant to grip the makeup, set it, and then you can refresh throughout the day. So we're gonna go into highlight. I like to do highlight after I set my makeup. So this is a Wet n Wild highlighting powder, Mega Glow highlighting powder in the shade Bloom Time. I just felt like it would go really pretty with what's going on there. I'm just gonna build this up on the brush and then work this into the cheekbone. Guys, look at how pretty that is. For blush, I'm gonna take a mix of these two here. Where are they? These two. This is a BH Cosmetics palette and it is their Blushing in Bali. I love the blushes in this palette. I use it a lot. I think I'm about to hit pan on a couple. But I'm just gonna mix Lychee and Coral and we're just going to put this on the apples of the cheeks and kind of work it into the contour just to give us a little bit of a blush moment, but not too much. Like that's perfect. And I like to pat it in between the highlight and the bronzer and just kind of work it up. I really like the way this complexion looks. This whole look. Does anybody else get nervous using new products? Comment down below if it makes you nervous because I like legit get super nervous. Like I sat down and looked at all the products that I was gonna use today and I was like, okay, I think that'll work with that. I'm not sure. And I'm not mad. I'm not mad. This is honestly a pretty good first impressions using new makeup. It could have been worse. I am going to do my lips and my hair off of camera and then we'll be back to talk about this look. All right guys, so this is the finished look. I have been loving wearing my husband's like oversized shirts over like crop tops and I will button it right at the belly so that you're not seeing any stomach or any type of skin. I just am absolutely obsessed because you can do lots of like over the shoulder moments. Especially with this look, it's just everything. And then of course I threw in a little bit of extensions and did my hair. So the lip combo for today, I'm really actually feeling. I'm feeling everything, as you guys can tell. I'm just obsessed with the entire look. So for lip liners, I have really been liking the NYX Suede Matte Lip Liners. I own all of the nudes, all of the browns. I should get more of the color ones. I have just maybe like a red and a pink, but I really do like these. I have them in my kit even. So this is the shade Sandstorm in that NYX lip liner. And then for lipstick, I use one that's really an oldie but a goodie of mine. This is the NYX Lingerie Laced Detail Lipstick. It's such a perfect nude, and then this is like 2, maybe 3 shades deeper, so it helps to like deepen up that 90s lip line. And then I went with one of my fave glosses. I don't think that I have found a drugstore gloss that I like as much as this one. This is the Marc Jacobs Lip Lacquer in the shade Sugar Sugar, and it is like the perfect nude color to really just even like tone down any nude lipstick. This goes over it super well. Any lipstick period. I just like the fact that it works really well with nudes. But this is the finished look. I have to say that for a first impressions, like trying out new products video, this look turned out pretty cute, and I'm glad that we did it. Like the complexion, This foundation truly impressed me. I can't wait to see how it wears, but it really did impress me. I'm combination skin, and with the way that we prepped our skin and the way that we set it, I am not upset at the way that this looks. It looks really pretty, flawless. It was easy to work with, easier than I thought. So that's a yes for the Airbrush Flawless foundation by Charlotte Tilbury. And then I also really liked this One Size powder. I was worried that it was gonna be really thick and heavy. Why, I don't know, it just looked that way in the pan, but it really blended out super well. And then obviously I was gonna be obsessed with this guy, but I do like how it gave me a nice skin-like finish, but it doesn't manipulate the foundation. It doesn't make it super glowy. It doesn't mattify it even more. It is just exactly what it says, which is a set and gripping finishing spray. But I'm obsessed with this look. We use a ton of drugstore. I don't know why I haven't used this before or used it in a minute, but I will definitely be using this again. Overall, I feel like this was a really good video. I hope that you guys liked it. If you did, hit the thumbs up down below. Also, comment and tell me you want to see more content like this, or if this is not your content, then just tell me what you would like to see on this channel. Again, guys, like always, schedule has changed. I'm posting now 2 days a week instead of 3. So we are posting on Wednesdays and Sundays. If you want to see more, go ahead and follow me on Instagram. It's Jojo_Palacio. And you definitely want to do that. At the beginning of this year, I told myself I was going to try to do more content on Instagram, but also giveaways. And there is going to be a giveaway this month in January. I am working on a collaboration with a fellow YouTuber, Instagrammer, influencer, power woman, and I am so excited. So just go ahead and subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Subscribe to my Instagram, follow me on there, just because I will definitely be doing more of the giveaway announcements there than I am here. So I love you guys, bless you guys, and I will see you guys next time.